screen first. Hey, how you doing? Excuse me. I'm Gabriel Bassett. We're going to take unstructured data like news reports of breaches and turn them into structured data that can then be analyzed. We are going to do that using some open source tools. The first is VCDB. This is the repository where we store public breaches. They are free to anyone to make use of. Also, we are going to use this web app, varuscommunity.net, that we publish. It actually lives all in a single file. You can download it, run it in an isolated environment. But we are going to use it just running it from the website because it's just easy to do that way. And we are going to use it to turn the unstructured data that we find into structured data, and it's going to be in the Varus format. Where is Varus? Which is, again, a free structure here. So let's get started. Okay. Now, all the issues that we have to code, all the potential breaches, are issues in the repository. I am going to... I don't think that I have any, not because I'm that good, but because the assignment script only gave me one this week, which I need to go look into. Instead, I'm going to go look at Alex, who is a little behind on his. So, okay. We'll start with the first non-healthcare one, I think, because he has a lot of healthcare assignments. We'll start with this priority one. And then we'll look at the news articles for it. And it looks like there are a lot of news articles for it. Oh, this is going to be fun. Let's block that. Oop. I just want to read this article. Insider threat likely responsible for the breach. Okay. State-owned Russian bank and financial services company Sberbank, I'm going to pause that, is currently investigating potential data leak, which the newspaper Kommersant has reported may be largest ever in Russian bank history. In a statement, the firm said that the leak has been affected at least 200 of its customers. That's not very big. However, according to Kommersant, 200 entries were just a sample to lure in potential buyers, with an unidentified online seller who claimed to have data of 60 million credit cards, including accounts and cards which had already been closed. The newspaper even verified the database's authenticity by asking the unknown seller to provide information on its own reporters. That turned out to be both correct and up to date. Well, that's a pretty good way to confirm it. Okay, so now it's announcing a possible data leak. No help there. No thanks. It's been a victim of a client leak. The company's biggest lender analysis found personal information. Analysts at Cybersecurity Devlock found personal information of 60 million of the bank's credit card holders for sale on the dark market. Bank currently has 18 million active credit card customers. It's the largest and most detailed banking data that has ever appeared on the dark market. So, Authenticity treated his own credit cards and was correct and up to date. The sellers want 5 rubles per entry. So, 8 cents an entry. Yeah. Seems reasonable. At the moment, they're investigating 9 million attacks a year, 30,000 yada yada yada. At 8% attacks exploit humans. Hey John. Shots fired about which? The banking information or something else? I really want to pair these aftershocks. Those are on my interest list. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Alex has wears multiple hats, and so it is completely understandable that he is behind. I think he may not have realized the amount of commitment it takes when he's signed up for the quota that he did, but that's okay. Okay, Russia's major bank Sber has been completed an internal investigation related to a leak of data for customer credit cards. The investigation reveals an employee who was attempting to steal the customer data. Revealed an employee who's attempting to steal it. Trial investigation with law enforcement identified bank employee born in 19 who headed a department in one of the bank's business divisions. who had access to the databases in the course of official duties who tried to steal the client data for profit. So did he actually get it out? Refutes reports that the data leaked was 60 million credit cards, could confirm the leak of 200. And so maybe he exported 200 and then was hadn't exported all of the data. Personal trading belonging to millions of clients is now being sold to black market analysts to suggest the trove of data for sale is real, but it's not really clear because he was still a current employee. Financial provided. This one comes after they found the right. This is November 14th. This one was October, so maybe the blow against the strategy comes as the industry experienced a similar attack earlier this year, which 3 Russian banks were targeted. The unknown new owners of the database claim it contains details. The unknown new owners of the database, so someone sold it, are now selling the information online. An ad appeared in the past week. Leading Russian business daily, which broke the news, quotes digital security to believe the information is real, although not all of it may be current, since there's no possible way. The date stated on the document is August 4th, 2019. Possibly the data leak took place. Confirmed a possible leak and revealed an internal investigation has been launched. The evening of October 2nd, became aware Bake has not been able to identify an external, but actions of an employee, a 28-year-old, is implicated on October 5th. Facebook message published October 3rd. The institution pointed out that the fund's credit cards of all customers, including those whose data have been leaked on the internet, are safe. According to records of credit cards, do not enable fraudsters to steal anything. They contain no CVV codes, logins, or passwords for online banking. Besides the bank's anti-fraud systems, they swear you'll be protected. Got it. Website now provides services to over blah, blah, blah. And this is just background, right? Clients are only latest victims, but yeah, background data. Okay, let's give this one a go. It does sound like the database was leaked. This happened in, what do we decide, August of 2019? The code number right here is 1499. The references are numerous. So 1, 2, 3, 4. This was, I think, the useful one. Oh, comma. And then 5. So someone downloaded the database, and then internal guy, okay. Internal actor misused access to download database of 60 million current and former credit card numbers with PII, but not logins, passwords, or CVV numbers, according to them. I wonder if that's because the CVV codes were encrypted or what, but I don't think it makes a big difference here. We've got a lot of information here, I think. The incident happened in, the document was dated August 4th, 2019. In August 4th. Compromise, he had, so I'm going to put in A because he had access to the data already. He didn't have to compromise it. Exfiltration, we don't know how long it took him to get the data out. Discovery, if the leak happened on October 4th, they became aware on October 2nd. So 2 months. August to September, October. Containment took, it sounds like, 3 days. Until they got this guy, though the 60 million are gone, but at least they're not leaking anything else. The victim is Sparebank. Okay. What do we know about them? Number of employees. Holy smokes. 300 and okay. Well, that's large. It's really big. Okay, and they are a bank. There's a simple NIX code for that. 522 210. There. Well, there's like just a normal bank here, isn't there? Yeah, 522110. Commercial banking. Okay, so affected one in the Russian Federation. That should be Northern Asia, right? I shouldn't know this off the top of my head, but Asia, Western, Southern, Eastern. We don't put them all down there. It's just kind of a quick reference, but we may have to go look at the M49 here. No, Northern. Maybe it's Central Asia. Yeah. Eastern Asia. Yeah. Eastern Europe. Oh yeah, Eastern Europe includes Northern Asia. I keep forgetting that. So yeah, we'll go with that. That does look Russia-y. What is Eastern Europe? 150151. And then the state, I don't know where they are located, but this is an opportunity to learn a little bit about states or areas in Russia. Let's search for the company. Hopefully our headquarters in Moscow. And then we need the international. Go down to RU. Russia Federation, 21 republics, 9 administrative territory, 46 administrative regions, 2 autonomous cities, 1 autonomous region, and 4 autonomous districts. Okay, I'm going to guess Moscow is going to be one of those autonomous sections, if we can find it. I guess their codes are in numbers. That's interesting. So 3 Russian Federation cities of federal importance. Moscow Oblast is 7. So they may be RU-77. I'm going to guess that is the appropriate way to represent them. Okay. No secondary victims. Puts this one down in action. This is simple misuse. Knowledge abuse, no. This is possession or privilege abuse. The system privileges from the network were used to exfiltrate data, and it was really, that's kind of it. Let's see. Was the action? The actor is going to be an internal actor, and it was a manager because it was someone that had access, right? Said they identified a 28-year-old. See, where was it? They identified a 28-year-old who had access, and sound like they. Where was it? 9091. Okay, it was the next one after that. 28 employee implicated. So was headed a department. Okay, so management. To be fair, certainly financial job. We don't know anything about the job. So it'd be interesting to see if there's more to that story. Assets involved, it sounds like one database server. One server, database, one. One, it sounds like it was on premise. We don't know anything about the operating system, most certainly IT. Located in Russia. Attribute. Data disclosed, yes. Sounds like 60, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. And apparently you can do that. Okay, we'll select it this way then. I'm going to go with the 60 million because it sounds like that is the payment total like it sounds like the database actually was stolen, right? There's the off chance that the employee was just looking things up individually, but I don't know that that's like, I think this is the more plausible solution, particularly since it sounds like they confirmed that there was still access even after the guy got picked up. He sold it or sent it somewhere else. The data was stored. Data abuse. I say putting it up for sale is abuse. I mean, I don't know. So we had a discussion yesterday about what data abuse means. And we'll probably update the definition to be confirmed abuse of the data. And that probably means confirmed use of the data for criminal purposes, which we don't know, but it is incredibly likely given that it was for sale. 200 were put up as examples. I mean, so it was abused. It was sold to, well, gosh. The data was abused in that it was sold to another party, but I don't think that, I'll put it as unknown for now, because I don't think that it's been shown that the data, like anyone's cashed out the credit cards or such. It's the attribute. This is targeted. This is opportunistic because he had access. The discovery method was external. Ironically, a security researcher stumbled across the data, not looking for insecure data, but for, well, I guess kind of looking for insecure data, but looking on criminal forums and marketplaces. Researcher found data for sale on criminal marketplace. The ironic thing is, like, if he'd just been selling like a small amount of data, would he ever have gotten caught? Because like if he had just been selling, well, I've got 1,000 or 10,000 of these, right, and really hadn't disclosed how much he had, which made it very clear the overarching value. Would they have made it a newsworthy item, and would it have ever been disclosed? So really no value chain because he just walked in and took it. This is, I think, distracting, certainly. Plus, this was a priority assignment, and the value chain was, again, short. Misuse by an internal actor on a server asset led to compromise of confidentiality. Unless you think that they're all small. I did one that was like 20 to 30 steps yesterday, not a VCDB, but a different case. And it was the attacker that pivoted in to the network from outside, and then he cleared his log so they don't know really how he was coming in or how he got in. But then he pivoted around. He basically used a set of system credentials to access, every system he could find. He'd kind of find more. He'd access them. And then as he started to find data, he'd move the data back to kind of his favorite box, export it, pivot around, found another set of service account credentials, kept pivoting, pulling data in, exporting it, and it was just like every single step as he kind of like in, out, in, out, in, out to the individual systems, and then dropped some tools, found his data, pulled the data back, sent it back, ended up just being this huge long chain of events. And so certainly those kind of manual attacks do happen. They're just not as common. We really don't know anything about the internal security, so we'll validate this and we'll save it off. And if you haven't seen this before, we copy it into a text file, because even though this browser is storing it in local memory, and you can even go pull these out of a variable in local storage if you want. It never hurts in case there's a major browser crash that causes a problem. So with that, we got one done. I have a hard stop at the top of the hour, so I may only get 3 done today. We'll see what we can do. We'll close this issue, and we'll go back to Alex's list here, find the next priority. Vulnerability exposes 2 million Verizon customer contacts. Sounds good. Make it 5. I did 5 on Tuesday, so I'm actually ahead of the curve. So I thought we had already coded this one though. Discovered by a security researcher in Verizon Wireless could have exploited by a hacker to gain access to 2 million customer contracts. So I'm going to search for this because I could swear I already did this one. If I haven't already done it though, I'm going to do it. So we'll open this in a new tab and we'll search for this in the repo. Yeah, see, it's already invalidated. So we've already done this one. It should be closed. So close this one. I don't know why it got reassigned, but close that one and we'll go back. I forget which stream I did it on. We can probably go back. So someone can probably go back and figure out which stream I did that one on. Then PHI, lots of PHI assignments because healthcare breaches have to be disclosed and people love looking at them. Okay, actually, let's just search by labels. Look for priority, anything with a priority tag. Hall of Fame, priority. Okay. Let's look at Hy-Vee. Remove details. So we got details here. Impact label. Okay. Just to make sure this one isn't in the repo. Having needs details assigned to it will prevent it from being assigned. So it shouldn't be, but we'll just check it out just to make sure. Search here. Wait, that wasn't right, was it? Oh, it should be 13905. Okay. 13905. There we go. So that's not in the repo. So we'll give this one a shot. All these references. Okay. I don't think we're going to need all of those to do this, but never hurts. Okay, so what happened? Hy-Vee data breach. Hy-Vee announced Wednesday that investigating a payment card data incident. The company said in a news release that the security incident involved payment processing systems at fuel pumps, coffee shops, Market Grills, Market Grill Express, and Wahlburger locations that Hy-Vee owns and operates. I didn't realize they did that. Detected unauthorized activities, some of its payment processing systems, law enforcement. Yeah. Let's go back to one of these later articles. Midwestern Supermarket Chai issued an update regarding the point of sale data breach in August, including when it happened on the locations involved. In the October 3rd release, so was this already open anywhere? This is actually, nope, it wasn't. So what happened? After detecting unauthorized activity of the payment systems on July 29th, they immediately started investigating. They notified law enforcement. The investigation identified the operation of malware designed to access payment card data from cards using point-of-sale devices, as one does. The malware searched for track data, which sometimes has a case holder. Read from a payment card. It was being from a payment card as it was being routed through the point-of-sale device, right? Because they read memory. That's how they work. Or that's how the malware works. However, for some locations, the malware was not present on all point-of-sale systems at the location. It appears that the malware did not copy data from all the payment cards used during the period that was present on a given point-of-sale system. There is no indication other customer data was involved. Specific time frames. These 6 fuel pumps in beginning from January. So been varying by location. There are 6 locations with access to card data that may have started as early as November 9th. Okay. So how many locations were involved? If these locations involved may have been accessed specific time frame when card data for these locations. It's December 14th, 2018 to July 29th. Fuel pumps January 15th to July 29th. There are 6 locations where access to card data may have started as early as November 9th, and 1 location where access may have continued through August 2nd. Involved in the specific timeframes are available below from information addition. I don't. Oh, okay. I see it down here. Okay. California residents, click here. So we have to tell you more. What happened? You're doing what you can do. So my concern is it doesn't necessarily show us how the attackers got access. They have good time frames, kind of. Like there was supposed to be a table, I think, here of what got access to when, and doesn't seem that they don't want to tell you select your payment card or your city, and we'll tell you whether whether it happened or not. I wonder if this data is in the file, just in the background. Element tools, source, a page. Here, we'll just look at elements. Like, kind of hoping that the script gets run here. Here. Let's inspect this. Yeah. So does anything fill this in? So check locations. Where's this? Check location, button content, and then blah, 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 blah. Yeah. I am not a big person, but button. Do I want to go in and bother to check that? It's probably in one of the scripts. Right. Chunks, common, webpack, probably not there. Static. Next page, probably not the next page. Runtime, main, maybe it's in that script. Sources. Runtime, main. Of course. It's blah, blah, blah. This is not worth my time, is it? No. Like, so they don't want to put all the cities and states that were compromised down here, so they've got them. You have to choose your state and choose your city, and I'll bet that it's in the script in it, and I just don't have the wherewithal to go through the trouble of finding it, and so I think I'm just going to skip it. But I'm hoping that there's something that we don't have any information on how the attackers got in, right? And that kind of frustrates me. Early stages, we don't have any additional details. Just a bunch of sites. It's always available. Closely monitor payment card statements. See, not helping. Possible security issues, not helping. Tied to sale of 5 million solid credit. Breach of Hy-Vee supermarket. Okay, so maybe Krebs has some information. On Tuesday this week, one of the popular underground stores peddling credit and data cards stolen from hacker merchants announced a blockbuster new sale, more than 5 million new accounts in 35 U.S. states, which doesn't look the same as what Hy-Vee had here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 states. And that was after their investigation. And so, if we go back to Krebs' site, it says, Hy-Vee based in Des Moines announced 35 states, multiple sources now tell Krebs that the card data came from compromised gas pumps. But I guess the card holders were in 35 states, but the breach was only in 5. Gas pumps, coffee shops, and restaurants by Hy-Vee, an Iowa-based company, announced August 14th in an investigation data pump. So now we know. Well, that's interesting because here is saying that they found it online, and then, but Hy-Vee said that they discovered it internally. But maybe that's they discovered it internally after someone told them to go look. But typically, such breaches occur when cybercriminals manage to remotely install malicious software on a retailer's card pay processing system. Yup. That is how it normally happens, and in this case, that's what happened. Copy data stored in credit cards mag strip. Swipe to terminals. Can be create counterfeit cards. Hy-Vee says believes the breach should not affect payment terminals used in grocery stores. Okay, the encryption technology makes it unreadable. Okay. Oh, so they were probably using chip and pin in the stores. Is that what they're saying? Encryption technology for processing payment card systems. The encryption technology protects card data by making it unreadable. Based on the preliminary investigation, we believe card transactions were swiped. Inserted these systems, which are utilized in front-end checkout lanes, pharmacy customer service, blah, 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 are not involved. That's interesting, right? If the idea was that these systems were compromised, but protected because of they were a more up-to-date system. Two sources, when asked not to identify the story, include one, a major U.S. financial. The card data stolen from Hy-Vee is now being sold under the codename Solar Energy at Joker's Stash, yada, yada, yada. Okay. You know, it's like, this is not well-structured data. This is hard to parse, you know? I feel like this would be much easier if the marketplaces had more structure to their data. Anyway, okay, Hy-Vee says the company investigation is ongoing. We are aware of reports. Joker's Stash known for dumps. Background. Spare your time worrying about it. Blah, blah, blah. Make it common for same card be breached in multiple establishments. Okay. Okay, so this is confirmed. This happened August, so that's fine. The GitHub ID is 13905. The reference, oh man, it's gonna take a while just to copy over the references. Sorry, like, the bigger the case is, the priority cases tend to be more significant, and more significant cases tend to take longer and take more reading. The one I was talking about earlier today, where it had, you know, multiple steps, and it took several hours to parse through and figure out exactly what was happening and understand it so they could be coded. So while, you know, for a lot of the VCDB ones, which are relatively straightforward because the majority of breaches, you know, are straightforward, are relatively quick to do. Large breaches and complex breaches can take hours for an individual breach to code. In this case, unknown actions led to point of sale malware on point of sale systems stealing credit card numbers. I guess I could spell out numbers. I'm not that lazy. There we go. Confidence, median, because they released a lot about kind of, we know timelines a little bit, but we don't know a lot of other things. Krebs screenshot the data. This has a date 8/20, but we have good dates because of the Hy-Vee disclosure. So the Hy-Vee disclosure said the earliest date started in August, was November 9, 2018. So we'll start that here. 18, November 9. Compromise, we don't know how long it took to get in. Exfiltration, again, it should be relatively short, but we really don't know when they started exfiltrating versus when they got in, because the report doesn't tell us that. Discovery didn't really happen until this report on Tuesday of this week, so August 22nd. Tuesday of August 22nd. August 22nd, so August 20th. Notification happened. So they discovered it, started in November of 19 or 18. And discovery happened in August of 19. So let's say what? 11. No. 9 months. And then containment sounds like this where they really took till October 3rd. So we'll say about 2 months to contain it. Notification initially happened really probably about 2 days, about the time Krebs did this. August 22nd. Are any of these articles earlier than that? Hy-Vee investigating if customer payment data was exposed at fuel pumps. Okay, so August, and this is from August 14th. So notification happened August 14th. And these are numbers, so they'll get, because you've got the dots over here, it means that this field is validated as a number, which means that if you put like leading zeros or something, those will just disappear when it goes into the data. So it'll just be run as a number. Okay, August 14th is the earliest. Any of these? So maybe discovery did happen, but then discovery still happened in like August timeframe, right? It took a while. Victim. Oh, that's a cute puppy. Sorry, like after reading this, like the puppy is the most entertaining thing going on. So we're gonna have to get the puppy off screen. He's just distracting. It's narwhal. I will have to go search that. My internet meme game is way lower. Like Alex Pinto's the guy with the meme game, not I. So this is Hy-Vee. What do we know about Hy-Vee? Good question. I don't know what we know about Hy-Vee. Hy-Vee, number of employees, and they're going to be big, right? Because they're very, employee driven. Any kind of retail or something like that that has lots of locations has to have a lot of employees. Really kind of employee count. This is an interesting thing. Employee count probably isn't the best way to judge organization size. Or I don't know. It depends what organization size means, because like a tech company can have, under 100 people and bring in, hundreds of millions of dollars without trouble. Whereas, a retail company that has to staff a bunch of locations, may have similar types of income, or I guess, but it has to go back into all the employees and such that run all the parts of it. So let's see, grocery, general line, grocery, wholesale. I don't want wholesalers, but if grocery is the right, supermarkets and other groceries, perfect. Okay, locations affected. Lots. I mean, do they actually say how many locations are affected in total? So it's at least, well, for cities, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, for Pete's sake. Okay. Can I just look at this form and just copy the data out of it? Is it? Because of course, couldn't just like actually have the content of this form. It has to be this kind of thing. I remember days where HTML was actually HTML. That was a fantastic time, right? Okay. Can I just search more tools? Can I just view the source? This page is just a view developer, view source. And will it show me whatever this location is? Let's start with Carroll. Is Carroll in anything? I search sources for Carroll. I just want to know how many locations were affected. And they can't bother saying that. Okay, it's not even in the California disclosure, is it? It's available here. It was not available there unless you go parse through that. Maybe someone else. Maybe they've disclosed it to new. Heavy breach, number of locations affected. So we know 35 states. No, I don't know if it's requesting in real time in the back end. And I am loath to go into that much detail. It says data affected 14 metro area locations. There's 14 locations in. Okay, I'm gonna skip it because we really don't know. It's. I can always come back, and if I get time after the fact, I'll fill it out. Because it's taking too much time to try to find it. Y'all, if you want to, you can parse through the. Here you go. If you can parse out how many locations were affected, I would appreciate it. Okay. They are U.S. So this, I guess, we need an ability to parse states because this like affects multiple states. Gotta do USIA, USIL, USKS, USMN, USMO. Yeah, if you get a chance to parse that link, by the way, like if you're able to pull out all the combinations of store type name, like all the potential rows that could be filled in here from all the different combinations of state and city, that'll tell me how many pumps or how many terminals were affected, which we'll need down in the asset field. Okay. In E. SD and WI. I'm going to take a note that I need to make sure this field is handled as a list of things now. It's just going to make my life so much easier. Issues. I'm going to create a Varus issue for this. See, this is victim.state needs to be a list, not a single string. And the reason is because some breaches can involve multiple states. Those involve multiple states. That said, JSON to Varus, the function in Varus-R that parses this down into a single data frame, can go ahead and collapse the list down to a comma separated string. But the benefit of making it kind of a a list like region is up here is that we can automate the parsing down to the list, and that ensures that we get it in a structured way, and that will ensure that we can unstructure it, or if we need to split it up later, that the data is clean to do that. So victim ID, no secondary victims. Locations affected, we're still waiting on that. Action, certainly the start with an infiltration was an unknown action. Unknown action to drop malware. And then the malware was very likely directly installed, and this was RAM scraping malware. RAM scraping is here somewhere. There we go. This is what captures credit card data out of memory, and is this exact type of malware. So we go with that because that's what we know it does, and we really don't know the rest, right? Like it could have been one, it could have been a dozen actions ahead of time. In fact, it was very likely multiple actions to pivot back and forth to find all these credit cards because it seemed that the credit card systems were targeted over time and inconsistently. So the attacker was probably in there manually finding the credit card systems and then dropping this malware. But we don't have a lot of information. This sounds pretty targeted. It probably started with some kind of access, but then it's a pretty manual action. The asset, total assets, these, we only know about the terminals, the payment card terminals. There were gas terminals. There were, oh, that's not what I wanted to select. And then there were kiosks, not really. Just normal payment terminals. ATMs. And okay, so they're gas terminals, but that's not what the other one I want is, I think, server, point of sale servers, yeah. But there's also user device, point of sale terminal. I think that's actually, yeah, there we go. This is what we want. There were gas terminals and then there were point of sale terminals. And because there's no way you can drop malware like that without other compromises, I'm going to put unknown assets. These are on-prem assets. We don't know operating systems. This is all IT. Oh, but I had this discussion, right? We did the Twitter query, so poll. Let me pull that up just for the stream's sake. Where was that? Here we are. Twitter poll. And we'll show this. So this was the interesting question. Everyone agreed that the gas pump is OT, but a credit card skipper compromise, the argument was that it's not an OT compromise. And so instead of putting OT here, I'm going to remove it and just leave IT. Because that's what Twitter agreed to. United States. Attributes compromised. And if you find out as you're parsing through that link, the actual amounts, I'll fill these back in addition to the victim amounts. So attribute, confidentiality, data disclosure, yes. And this we do have from the Krebs article. It looks like 5.3 million, right? You had a nice screenshot here. Yep, 5.3 million. 5,300,000, 000. We copy that, and it's all credit card data, so payment data of customers. It was taken during processing, so anything on memory is taken during processing. Abuse is unknown yet, because we don't have reports of it being abused. No partner data. Close this. Targeted discovery method. Because the internal disclosure comes before the post of the data. This is on August 22nd, and Hy-Vee disclosed the breach. It's posted Hy-Vee 22nd. On 20th, they posted it. And so it sounds like the attackers posted the data after Hy-Vee discovered them. I'm going to say it was discovered internally, but we don't know how. Value chain. I mean, there had to be a lot that went on here, right? Someone had the payload for RAM scraping malware. Scraping. Let's see. Bots, exploit kits, exploit code. Not really ransomware, Trojans. So, non-distribution services. We don't know if they used any of these. I would be surprised if they didn't use a proxy or something to connect, but we don't know. Targeting, Again, we don't know how this was targeted, but certainly it was targeted. And then distribution, again, unknown. Cash out is going to be selling the credit cards, more than likely. In fact, we know that because he's trying to sell the credit cards. And then we don't know about money laundering. We're choosing unknown because we don't know about it. If we knew that it didn't happen, we could choose NA. Oh, and there's a typo in the description for money laundering. Add a Varus issue to fix that. Okay, so typo in what is this? Value chain money laundering unknown description. So make a note of that. And can I select it? Probably not without. So it says, no, it's in the NA description, not unknown. So make a note NA, and this will just remind me the next time I update Varus to clean it up a little bit. The problem is I'm the one who actually puts these things in, and no one should trust me to spell anything correctly, either accidentally or on purpose. The impact is certainly distracting. It doesn't look like they're losing, well, what we said. So there's a mark. Suzanne marked this as having impact data. And so I guess that's related to this. A class action lawsuit has been filed. It's not claiming they did not do enough to protect purchases. And so they're having to defend against a class action lawsuit that they may have to settle. So this is going to be damaging. Plus, this was a priority assignment. And the actions, we're going to go with an unknown action by an external actor on an unknown asset resulted in unknown other things. And so unknown paths below 3 steps are likely to be advanced without additional detail. So we try to filter out unknowns when we're dealing with breaches. Or when we're trying to determine path length. So, okay. Then a malware action by a external actor compromising. Did we do actor? We may have to go back and do that. Compromising terminals, servers, but really kind of we're talking about the terminals. Compromise confidentiality. And I think this is going to kick it back to me because I missed actor. Yep. And the nice thing is if you miss a required field, this will definitely tell you got to go do it. And then if you start filling this in, like if I filled in motive but not variety, it would tell me actor variety was missing. Even though it doesn't tell me that internal variety is missing because internal is not required, but if you have internal, you have to have variety. Or if you have external, you have to have variety. So this is going to be organized crime. Someone knows what they're doing when they're doing this to pivot around internally. They do this professionally. Save this. And at 9:55, we are going to cut it short at just those 2 incidents. 2 priority incidents, but that is really all we had time for. Just in case, did you get a chance? Were you able to find the number of locations or number of assets from that website? I completely understand if it was so close, like you need like another minute, or let's see. You can find me on Twitter or something, and I'll send you an email address. You can send me the JSON and I'll update it, or you can just give me the numbers from it, and I'll parse them out, and because I can update it later. So I'll save it off to the side and won't add it to VCDB until we get in touch. You know how to get in touch with you, right? Thank you, sir. Thank you all for coming. I appreciate it. We're gonna have to try this more, like figure out how to like see if we can jointly do these, like have work together and have kind of chat, try to help out with different portions of the breaches, because I think that could be kind of fun to do the breaches together. Would you all like that if we kind of did something like that, try to figure out how to make it more of a collaborative thing to fill out some of these? I think it'd be a lot of fun to try to do. So, and plus, it helps everyone else kind of get into doing it. So, okay, I will talk to you later. See you next week. Same time on Tuesday. Bye.